my data safe and private.
Good morning. Welcome to News for Hearing Impaired. I am Anil Thomas. With me, Manisha this morning. First up, the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to deliver inaugural address at the India Global Week 2020. 5,000 global participants from 30 nations to participate in a 3-day-long virtual conference on the theme, Be the Revival, India and a Better New World. Prime Minister to interact with NGOs from Varanasi to discuss their experiences and efforts in helping those in need during the lockdown with food and ration distribution as well as other welfare drives. Cabinet led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes key decisions. Extension of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana till end of November approved. Free cylinders to be provided till September under Ujjwala Yojana. Houses under the PM Awas Yojana to be rented out to the migrant workers. Cabinet gives nod to setting up of 1 lakh crore rupee agriculture infrastructure fund. In Jammu and Kashmir, a BJP leader Wasim Bari, his brother and father killed by terrorists in Bandipora town of North Kashmir. Police arrest all the 10 PSOs associated with the BJP leader. Prime Minister Modi inquires about the gruesome killing of Wasim Bari. He also extends condolences to the family of Wasim. Indian Navy completes Operation Samudra Setu successfully. Almost 4,000 Indian citizens back to their homeland by sea as part of the national effort to repatriate Indians from overseas during the COVID-19 pandemic. Specialists from AIIMS to provide guidance on clinical management of COVID-19 to doctors in 17 states via teleconsultations. India's recovery rate increases to 61.53%. Tally of global COVID-19 infections stands at 1 crore 20 lakhs with 5 lakh 48,000 fatalities. China facing criticism for their expansionist policy globally. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says China's aggression to its neighbors is widely being perceived as a threat to their sovereignty. Also says world must come together to respond to the increasing revisionist effort of the Chinese Communist Party. And rain mars much anticipated opening day of first test between England and West Indies in Southampton. A restricted first day at the Rose Bowl sees hosts finish on 35 for 1 after 17.4 overs. Now for the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will deliver the inaugural address of India Global Week 2020, a 3-day virtual conference themed Be the Revival, India and a Better New World. India Global Week 2020 will have 5,000 global participants from 30 nations being addressed by 250 global speakers across 75 sessions. Other high-profile speakers participating at the event will include Dr. S. Jaishankar, Union External Affairs Minister, Piyush Goyal, Union Minister of Railways and Commerce and Industry, Lieutenant Governor of J&K, G.C. Murmu, Isha Foundation founder Sadhguru, spiritual leader Sri Ravi Shankar, along with UK's Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab and Home Secretary Preeti Patel. US Ambassador to India Ken Juster and others will also be speaking at the event. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also interact with representatives from NGOs based in Varanasi today via video conferencing. During the lockdown, residents of Varanasi and members of social organizations ensured that food was available for everyone in need. Prime Minister will listen to the experiences during the interaction. During lockdown, more than 100 organizations in Varanasi distributed almost 20 lakh food packets and 2 lakh dry ration kits through the food cell of the district administration as well as through individual efforts. Apart from food distribution, these organizations were instrumental in distribution of masks, sanitizers, etc. They have been honored as Corona warriors by the district administration. The Union Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, approved several important decisions, including extending the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana for the next 5 months. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had announced the extension of the scheme in his address to the nation on the 30th of last month. A total of 81 crore people are entitled under the scheme to receive 5 kgs of food grains per person and 1 kilograms of gram every month.
जुलाई, अगस्त, सितंबर, अक्टूबर, नवंबर 5 महीने अब ये योजना चालू रहेगी, जिसमें 5 किलो प्रति व्यक्ति 81 करोड़ लोगों को 5 किलो प्रति व्यक्ति मुफ्त अनाज मिलेगा और 5 किलो 5 महीने में पकड़ेंगे तो 5 किलो चना मिलेगा और 25 किलो अनाज मिलेगा। 25 किलो अनाज प्रति व्यक्ति मिलेगा, 5 किलो चना एक परिवार को मिलेगा।
In moving ahead in that story, in North Kashmir, the former Bandipora BJP district president Wasim Bari, along with his father Bashir Ahmed and brother Umer Bashir, were killed by terrorists yesterday at their shop in Muslim Abad area. They were injured critically and shifted to hospital, but later succumbed to the injuries. Police and security forces have launched a massive crackdown in Muslim Abad area, where suspected militants attacked BJP district president and his family. Police later arrested all the 10 PSOs associated with Wasim Bari. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inquired about the gruesome killing of Wasim Bari over the telephone. Union Minister Jitendra Singh tweeted that Prime Minister extended condolences to the family of Wasim. BJP President JP Nadda also condemned the attack. He tweeted, "We lost Sheikh Wasim Bari, his father and brother in Bandipora, Jammu and Kashmir in a cowardly attack on them. This is a huge loss for the party. My deepest condolences are with the family. The entire party stands with the bereaved family. I assure that their sacrifice will not go in vain." In Assam, the flood situation is considerably improving in the last 24 hours. However, 12 districts are still affected by flood waters. Over 1,70,000 people now remain affected in more than 340 villages and localities. One more death was reported yesterday, taking the death toll due to this particular monsoon to 40. Assam State Disaster Management Authority said that erosions have damaged many villages of Sadia, Majoli and Bongaigaon district. The Indian Meteorological Department has forecast heavy rainfall continuously for the next 2 days, 2 to 3 days, which may lead to flooding of villages along river banks in 18 districts. India on Thursday termed India yesterday termed the claim by Pakistan that Kulbhushan Jadhav has refused to file his review petition a farce. India said Pakistan had coerced into not filing a review petition in a Pakistan court. Spokesperson of MEA said that the media statement made by Pakistan in the case seeks to mask Pakistan's continuing reticence to implementing ICJ judgment in letter and spirit. The MEA spokesperson also said India has sought unimpaired access to Jadhav to discuss his remedies under the ordinance which Pakistan has denied. He termed the development as a brazen attempt to scuttle even the inadequate remedy under the ordinance. Operation Samudra Setu, which was launched in May as part of the national effort to repatriate Indian citizens from overseas during the COVID-19 pandemic, has culminated after successfully bringing 3,992 Indian citizens back to their homeland by sea. Indian naval ships Jalashwa, Erwat, Shradul and Magar participated in this operation, which lasted over 55 days and involved traversing more than 23,000 kilometers by sea. Indian Navy has previously undertaken similar evacuation operations as part of Operation Sukoon in 2006 in Beirut and Operation Rahat in 2015 in Yemen. Recovery rate of COVID-19 continues to improve steadily in India. Currently, the recovery rate from COVID-19 in India is about 61.53% with 2,64,944 active cases. 4,56,830 patients have been cured or discharged from hospitals. COVID-19 has so far claimed 20,642 lives. Due to a sudden spurt in COVID-19 cases, a complete lockdown has been ordered in Patna from July 10th to 16th. Patna District Magistrate Kumar Ravi has issued an order to this effect on Wednesday. The decision comes on a day Bihar reported its highest single-day spike of 749 COVID-19 cases, of which Patna alone accounted for 235. Except for the essential services, markets, offices and other commercial activities will be prohibited during the lockdown period in the state capital. Apart from Patna, the Bhagalpur administration has also imposed a lockdown for 5 days from July 9th in the district. The lockdown started from 6 a.m. this morning and will continue till 6 a.m. on 16th of July. During the lockdown, only essential services will be allowed.
सुबह 6 बजे से 16 तारीख की सुबह 6 बजे तक ये तथाकथित जो हम लोग प्रतिबंध लगा रहे हैं, ये प्रतिबंध प्रभावी रहेगा और इसमें दुकानों के खुलने का समय भी निर्धारित कर दिया गया है। विशेष रूप से 2 चीज़ों के दुकानों के खुलने की बात आती है, किराने की और सब्जी की। इसके अतिरिक्त अन्य दुकानों के खुलने के समय पर कोई प्रतिबंध नहीं है, जो दवा की दुकानें हैं। बाकी सभी तरह की दुकानें बंद रहेंगी। इसलिए हम लोग पूरे आम आवाम से अपील करते हैं, जनता से, लोगों से अपील करते हैं कि इसका स्वतः स्फूर्त रूप से इसका अनुपालन हो, न तो हमें प्रयास करना पड़े, न किसी तरह की दंडात्मक कार्रवाई करने की आवश्यकता पड़े। यह लोग चाहेंगे कि यह स्वतः स्फूर्त सभी लोगों के द्वारा यह किया जाए, ताकि ये जो कोरोना का संक्रमण है, इसके चलते जो परेशानियां हैं, जो परेशानियां उत्पन्न हो रही हैं, इसका मिलजुल करके हम लोग इसको दूर कर सकें, इस पर काबू पा सकें। इसके लिए अनिवार्य है कि सभी लोगों का पूरी तरह से सहयोग मिले।
Apart from Patna, the Bhagalpur administration has also imposed a week-long lockdown in the district. The lockdown started from 6 a.m. this morning, will continue till 6 a.m. of 16th of July. During the lockdown, only essential services will be allowed. Hotels in Maharashtra opened up for guests after a gap of more than 3 months. The hotel sector is balancing hospitality and safety of their guests and staff in the times of COVID. The state government allowed hotels and other entities providing accommodation services outside containment zones to commence operations with 33% occupancy from today. Shivanand Shetty, the president of the Indian Hotel and Restaurants Association, welcomed the step and has also urged the government to reconsider the occupancy condition for survival of the industry. Well, let's now take a look at the global update on COVID-19 pandemic. Global update clearly shows that the cases have exceeded 1.2 crore or 1 crore 20 lakh of cases, while like 5,47,000 deaths have been linked to the COVID-19 virus that have been reported so far. With more than 30 lakh cases and over 1,32,000 deaths, United States continues to be the world's highest number of COVID-19 infections and fatalities. Brazil comes in the second place with 17,13,000 infections and 67,964 deaths being reported in Brazil. In terms of coronavirus deaths, UK is in the third place with 44,602 deaths, followed by Italy and Mexico. The number of confirmed COVID-19 infections on Wednesday crossed the 30 lakh mark in the United States, setting yet another grim record. The US is undergoing a renewed surge in cases, mainly in southern and western states, with Texas, Florida and California hit the hardest. The number of daily hospitalizations in numerous states has been rising, putting critical resources, including staffing, bed and ventilators, in short supply. Texas surpassed 10,000 new coronavirus cases in a single day for the first time since the pandemic started. The record high of 10,028 cases in Texas served as another alarming new measure of the swift resurgence of COVID-19 nationwide. New York and Florida are the only other states to record more than 10,000 new cases in a single day. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has signed an executive order requiring people to wear face coverings outdoors to prevent a resurgence of the COVID-19 virus whenever social distancing is not possible. More than 15,000 people have died from COVID-19 in New Jersey, ranking it second only after neighboring New York State in the total number of deaths. Meanwhile, following up demands made by President Trump, the U.S. Vice President Mike Pence on Wednesday said that it was essential for United States schools to reopen in the fall. Pence, who heads the White House Coronavirus Task Force, said the Center for Disease Control would issue new guidelines next week for the reopening of schools in the autumn. Earlier, Donald Trump on Wednesday threatened to cut off funding to schools that do not open in the fall and criticized a federal health agency's guidelines for reopening schools as very tough and expensive. California Governor, meanwhile, Gavin Newsom said that the decisions on reopening California's public schools will be made by local education and health officials. He said those decisions will be based on whether people can slow the spread of the virus by changing their behavior. Meanwhile, San Francisco health officials have issued guidelines on how to safely reopen city schools that include requiring all K-12 students to wear masks and for older children to stay 6 feet apart. In Los Angeles County, Public Health Director has urged local school officials to prepare for a possible delay of classroom instruction next month. However, students in New York will return to school in September with a blended learning model. Unveiling his plan for reopening of schools, City Mayor Bill de Blasio said that most schools will attend in-person classes 2 or 3 days in a week. According to the new plan, families who aren't comfortable sending their children back to school may continue with remote learning. They will have the chance to opt back in on a quarterly basis. United Arab Emirates Dubai reopened its tourism industry to international tourists after nearly 4 months of shutdown. Around 20 international flights arrived at the Dubai International Airport on Tuesday. Dubai government hoped that with the improvement in the anti-pandemic efforts, tourism will gradually be brought back on track and to realize the recovery there. However, passengers are required to follow anti-epidemic rules from boarding to entering the emirate. Meanwhile, Dubai has gradually eased restrictions on business activities. Most of the public facilities have so far been open to the public, including popular scenic areas, business centers, parks and water facilities. Visitors are required to wear face masks and gloves and follow anti-epidemic regulations of keeping social distance, checking body temperature and disinfecting in time. The Chinese government and the Communist Party of China are facing criticism for their expansionist policy globally. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has once again criticized China, reiterating U.S. government's concern for cybersecurity coming with the Chinese telecommunication services and infrastructure. The secretary also said that U.S. is constantly evaluating Chinese apps, including TikTok, to protect the privacy of its users.
With respect to TikTok, I want to put it in the broader context. We have been engaged in a constant evaluation about ensuring that we protect the privacy of American citizens and their information as it transits. So this doesn't relate to any one particular business or company, but rather to American national security. And we are striving to get that light. The comments that I made about a particular company earlier this week fall in the context of us evaluating the threat from the Chinese Communist Party.
Mike Pompeo also accused China of taking incredibly aggressive action in a recent clash with India over a disputed section of the nuclear-armed neighbor's border.
The Chinese took incredibly aggressive action. The Indians have done their best to respond to that. I put this in the context of General Secretary Xi Jinping and his behavior throughout the region and indeed throughout the world.
Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador met his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump at White House. Mexican president was the second foreign leader to visit the White House since mid-March. The meeting aimed to celebrate the start of the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement trade deal, which started with effect from July 1st. Trump and López Obrador discussed the United States-Mexico-Canada trade deal, which replaced the North American Free Trade Agreement. President Trump said the country's economic and social security relationship was reaching new heights. However, several Democratic members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus denounced the meeting with Mexico's president as an effort to distract voters from rising cases of coronavirus in the United States. In Serbia, police fired tear gas to disperse rock-throwing protesters as protests erupted for the second day in a row against the president's handling of the country's coronavirus outbreak. President Alexander Vučić backtracked on his plans to reinstate a coronavirus lockdown in Belgrade this week, but it didn't stop people from firing flares and throwing stones while trying to storm the downtown parliament building. A number of people were injured during clashes in front of the parliament that started peacefully but soon turned violent. Tear gas was fired in several spots. Some protesters overturned garbage containers and set them on fire while trying to stop the police officers pushing them away. Now on to sports. After a 117-day break, international cricket returned on Wednesday, but light rain and bad light restricted the first test between England and West Indies to just 17.4 overs, and the hosts closed a frustrating day on 35 for the loss of 1 wicket. After all the anticipation, day one of the first of the 3 tests turned out to be a damp squib. After a rain-delayed start, players from both teams took a knee in support of the global campaign against racial injustice and observed a minute's silence to mark the victim of the novel coronavirus and former West Indies batsman Everton Weekes, who died last week. England won the toss and opted to bat, but soon lost Dom Sibley for naught after he left a Shannon Gabriel delivery, which cut back to clip his off stump. After further rain delays, England eventually settled to their task. Burns was not out on 20 and John Denley on 14 when bad light brought them off in the 18th over, never to return. Kemar Roach was the pick of the West Indies bowler, giving just 2 runs from his 6 overs. Legendary actor Jagdeep, who played the role of Surma Bhupali in the popular Bollywood film Sholay, left the world at the age of 81. He died at his house in Andheri in Mumbai. Jagdeep was born on March 29, 1939 in Dhatia of Madhya Pradesh. His real name was Syed Ishtiaq Ahmed Jafri. Jagdeep was a recognized comedian of the Indian film industry. He entered the film industry as a craftsman in Bihar Chopra's movie Afsana. The year 1957 was an achievement in Jagdeep's profession. He performed in a kids movie Hum Panchi Ek Dal Ke. Jagdeep started his comedy roles from Bimal Roy's film Do Biga Zameen. After this, he appeared in the movies like Gora and Kala, आँख मिचौली, इंसानियत, जग्गू, चला मुरारी हीरो बनने, तीन बहुरानियां and Jeevan. The most popular character of Jagdeep was Sholay Surma Bhupali. The film was seen as one of the best motion pictures of Bollywood. Apart from this, he acted in more than 400 Hindi films. The year 2020 is not a fortunate year for the film industry. The film world lost many of its unique actors this year, and Jagdeep is also added to the list. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of news. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.